Sound production. Sound production. Sound production.
This is XAUUSD music.
Yes. What's going on, family? What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's session with your boy Abel and the Prophet Society Familia. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys today. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys this morning. Let me make sure I just send out this link really quickly. As you guys are tuning in, family, go ahead and drop those locations in the chat. As you guys are tuning in, family, go ahead and drop those locations in the Chizzy chat. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from this morning. All right, I see we got Oklahoma City in the building. Shout out to you guys out there in Oklahoma City. Da-na-na, 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 da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na. Yes, 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 family, yes, family, yes, family. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. I said we got Tennessee in the building. We got Dallas in the house. We got Nigeria, the Netherlands, the Philippines. We got Ohio in the building. What's going on, family? Colombo, Sri Lanka, Guyana, Miami. What is up? What is up, family? How are you guys feeling? Let's go. Let's go. All right, we got Eric in the building. What's going on, Eric? Good to see you in the chat, my brother. Appreciate you for tuning in and always engaging, right? That's what I love the most about you, Eric. You're always here and you be active, baby. That's what I love to see, man. And that's also, you know, a sure sign of the fact that you are going to see massive success as well in this space because of how active you are. All right, so big shout out to you, Eric. Just wanted to show you a little bit of love this morning. Right, but let's see what we got here, family. So we did have the unemployment claims come out. We actually had an increase, all right, an increase in the number of people that filed for unemployment for the first time. And just like we've been talking about for a while, guys, you know, we should expect this number to continue to go higher. All right, especially now with all these layoffs that we've been seeing, that we've been experiencing, right? We should start to see this thing really start to trend to the upside, right? This is a chart, guys, that I'm actually pretty bullish on overall, right? Just because, again, everything that's happening, right? You know, there's a lot of companies, guys, that are actually laying off a ton of people, right? You know, so that's going to be interesting to see overall. But like I said, it is Thanksgiving Eve. All right, so please, please, please be mindful of that. I'm probably going to be taking no trades today just because it is Thanksgiving Eve. But we did give you guys our word that we will be live, so we are still live here to at least provide you guys with massive value. I know the boy Kyle, the young legend, young lion, is with me this morning. All right, big shout out to my brother. He actually has a setup, though, that he wants to give y'all. All right, so Kyle, I appreciate you, bro. Whenever you get a chance, my brother, you know, definitely go ahead and unmute yourself, say what's up to the family, and then you can go ahead and take the screen over whenever you want, bro. But big shout out to all you guys that are out here in Miami, San Antonio, Baton Rouge, right? We got the 5th Ward, Texas, the Netherlands, Rotterdam in the building, right? We got New Jersey in the house. Free Zone. What's going on, Free Zone? Good to see you in the building as well, right? North Carolina, Kosi, what's good, dog? Appreciate you for tuning in as well, family. You know, happy Thanksgiving Eve to every single one of you guys that can hear my voice right now. I know I'm excited for tomorrow. I have a lot of family coming in town, and I'm excited, right, to be able to just spend time with, you know, a lot of family, and also being able to eat a lot of damn food. All right, I'm excited for that, for damn sure. Right now, family, in the chat, what is your guys' go-to plate? Like, what are you guys excited to eat tomorrow for Thanksgiving, right? Like, what is going to be your go-to plate, your go-to meal that you guys are extremely excited for, right? Let me know in the chat right now. As you guys are answering that, I'm going to go ahead and let the boy Kyle go ahead and explain what he's looking at, because, you know, he actually said, he's like, yo, I got something to give them early on, right? I got a trade idea for them early, right? So definitely want to allow him to go ahead and do his thing as well, family. But go ahead and drop that food, you know, your food recommendations, your go-tos for sure. And Kyle, my brother, I appreciate you, bro. You can go ahead and do your thing, bro.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Good morning, family. I see y'all dropping some plates in the chat. See some mashed potatoes,
They got the mac and cheese.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's lit. That's lit. I see y'all. I know Thanksgiving is tomorrow. You know, hope you guys enjoy it with your families. You know, to be honest, you know, like Abel said, it is Thanksgiving Eve. So, you know, do go light on the risk for sure if you are trading today, or just don't even trade if you know that you would be tempted to take a high risk of a trade. Now, me personally, I'm in this setup right now. It's actually a round entry. You know, you guys can take this if you guys would like. You know, my entry was around this area, and I was running a stop. Still am running this stop for 16 pips. So give or take right now, if you guys were to take this entry, it would be around 16 to 17 pips. So to be honest, guys, we're just playing this 1 hour candle. The reason why I'm playing it, to be honest, yesterday I was looking for some sells over here. But then it ended up hitting my break even after we got in profit after this candle. What's crazy is I actually ended up hedging it and taking the buy, because if you guys know me, I always like to preach the fact that whenever you guys get in profit on selling, especially if you know that the buy is possible, hedge if possible. So, to be honest, I did hedge, but I took profit on the buys. I'm expecting us to have kind of like a bearish day today. This screams distribution to me, right? Even though we are in a uptrend on EU, to be honest, we are. I'm just gonna be honest. I am taking this with the expectation that this will get filled, right? I'm just taking it with that expectation now. That doesn't have to fill. We can just break new highs and then probably see the next buy setup. But this is something that's worth it to me, because I see these lows getting taken out for some reason. Right? I just see these lows getting taken out. I don't feel like that was enough of a move for us to break a new high with that. Right? I just feel like this move is very choppy. The momentum isn't on our side. The trend is on our side, but we need large candles like these to generate us that momentum to take us to the upside. Until I see something like that, until I see some momentum shift, technically I'm kind of bearish on this. And to be honest, there was an imbalance. This is where we opened today, this imbalance. So that's kind of like the last line of defense, right? If EU were to break like this level right here, then I'll officially be back bullish on it, right? But for the time being, I'm going to be playing this 1 hour candle with a 16 pip stop loss. It's literally right at entry. Again, I'm in it. If you guys would like to take it, you guys can. Just play this candle, 16 pip stop loss. You should be risking 0.5% on this trade, right? Just so you guys know how much I'm risking, right? One risk 0.5 to 1%, right? You shouldn't risk more than 1% on this trade, right? If you're looking at your account right now and you're like, man, I low-key took this trade with more than a 1% risk, don't worry, we're in a little bit of profit. We're still at the entry. It's still enough time for you to remain disciplined, cut your risk, and just make sure that you're risking around the same, that 0.5 to 1%. I'm going to also drop the chart in the Profit Society community, so you guys can see what I'm actually doing when I do this. I want you guys to get in the habit of doing this as well, right? Going to the Profit Society. You guys know this is our actual platform. I want you guys to go to Profit Society and start dropping your charts, right? Start going ahead and looking at what everybody else is looking at in the community, right? This is very valuable, right? A lot of good setups, big swings are sent in this group by a lot of traders, by some of us even, right? So, a lot of us send our trades in here. Me, Skaggs, Abel, Ray, we all send our trades in here. And there's a lot of our reputable students that are sending their trades as well, that they're catching some good stuff as well. So, to be honest, I'll just, go ahead and show you guys how to go ahead and navigate the site. I kind of have a different dashboard, but, you guys get the point. We are, floating into profit on this trade. If you guys are in profit on this trade with me, just so I can see who's eating with me, so I can see who's in this with me, go ahead and drop a $sign in the chat. We'll just go ahead and monitor this thing while I go ahead and try to make this post. Oh, that was the wrong thing. Hold up, y'all. And Abel, bro. I'd like to hear your thoughts on EU, bro. Like, what do I know yesterday I was kind of bearish. You were kind of bullish. There was kind of mixed opinions, but I feel like today, we are getting a more detailed look with some more information, with some more data, to support that sell. And if that's something that you like, let me know. But if you're kind of still bullish on it, what's kind of your thought process while I go ahead and drop this in the Profit Society?
I mean, I wasn't necessarily fully bullish, right? I think there's a chance for us to actually go ahead and get back into our original overall bias that we've been playing out the entire year. But I also am a little conflicted, with a lot of different things, right? But this is what I was looking at, right? So I ended up taking the trade yesterday with the family live yesterday, and we ended up taking a shorting opportunity on EU somewhere around these levels. All right, now we ended up getting into profit. I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was somewhere around here. We ended up taking a short, and yeah, we ended up getting around 10, 15 pips in profit before we ended up getting off. And I did mention to everybody I was going break even as soon as I got off, so we did end up getting smacked out at break even. But what I also did tell everybody, especially if you guys were on my Asian stream last night, was that above here, right where price is pretty much at, was going to be the next opportunity for us to potentially go ahead and go short on. So price is literally at that area that I was initially looking at anyways, right, which is somewhere back up in this range. So I do think there is a chance for this market to, definitely turn around and go bearish. I wouldn't be surprised by it. Matter of fact, I think we were really playing this entire sequence right here. All right, this is where I was really looking at to see what price would do up in this kill zone, right? And we are getting those nice reactions, right? We are getting those nice rejections. So yeah, it is very possible. It is very possible for this market to go short from these levels, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if it does actually happen at all, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what I was looking at and what I was thinking for sure. All right, but let's see what else we got here. Actually, I'm interested to see what you guys are talking about in terms of food, right? Because that's really on my mind, right? So I see we got the candy yams, the mashed potatoes, the turkey, all right, the panes con pavo, all right, the mac and cheese. Now, is your guys' mac and cheese baked mac and cheese or regular mac and cheese, right? Because I need my mac and cheese baked and extremely cheesy. All right, that's just me personally, right? I don't know about you, Kyle, but I need mine extra baked and extra cheesy.
No cap,
My
no
wife,
cap, none of that box stuff.
nah, homemade, like that homemade, real baked mac and cheese, man. Uh, it's amazing, right? Because now I got my mom's in town, my sister's in town, right? So now I'm just gonna be surrounded by all the women in my life, and all they do is cook a lot of phenomenal food, right? So I'm excited for that for sure. All right, I see they got
Oh
the.
man, you're lucky.
Oh yeah, it's gonna go crazy in my household. They got the yams, the cornbread. I see you, Winston. All right, the pecan pie. Okay, then biscuits, and biscuits do be good depending on who makes them though. All right. I see we got the tamales. Okay, Chino, the tamales sound good too. Let's see the apple pie with cinnamon roll crust. I like that. All right, let's see what else we got here. Baked only. I'm telling you, it gotta be baked mac and cheese, or I ain't eating it. Regular creamy and cheesy. Listen, I need mine baked. All right, I don't trust it unless it's baked. I need my 1942. Yeah, 1942 on Kyle. That man just got a nice big payout. Stay woke. 1942 on Kyle whenever we link up. Matter of fact, guys, I got a question, right? I think I really wish we would have planned this for this year. But next year, right, next Thanksgiving, we're actually going to be hosting. And I'm just thinking about this year right now, all right? Kyle's going to be the first one out of the team that hears this, right? But next year, guys, we need to have a Profit Society link up, right? Like a friend's giving, but more so for us, a family's giving for the entire team, right? So what do you think about that, Kyle? Next year we link up with the whole family in the chat and we just throw a big ass Thanksgiving family together. I think that would be cool. All right.
Oh yeah, no, I'm 100% down with that. I've actually done that in the past with a lot of traders, and it was fun. So
A trades giving.
I
Really?
I'm yeah, yeah, it's fun. It's fun. How do you guys feel about that? I'm there. I'm there. I don't know about you guys, but I'm booking my flight right now. Let me know where.
I low key wish we would have thought about this a month ago. We could have planned it, right? A trade's given. Imagine that, a trade's given. That sounds fire.
Trades given.
We need to trademark that, bro. We need to trademark that. Hold on. I'm about to secure the domain right now. Trades given. Let's see if it's taken. Tradesgiven.com. Oh, somebody got it. How dare you guys? Which one of you guys did it? Which one of you guys did it? Which one of you guys did it, man? I'm about to buy the domain and create the funnel and all that for next year. Which one of you guys did it, man?
That's crazy.
Trades given. Yeah, nah, that's again, that's a vibe, family. Like we can really do that. You know, I'm definitely all for that for sure. Let's see, I'll sell it to you. Yeah, I believe it. Listen, it happens, man. Listen, if somebody really took that and beat me to it, I'll buy it off you just because that's a dope domain, right? But for next year, for those of you guys that are still gonna be here, be prepared, right? We are gonna be hosting a trades given. The Prophet Society hosting a trades given for all of y'all that is in attendance. Everybody that's gonna be a part of the actual movement itself. You know, y'all could definitely go ahead and pull up, right? You know, I'm just brainstorming right now though. But back to the charts though. Now that we got that out the way, I definitely wanted to just bring that up as I was thinking about it. Yeah, so again, for me, it's going to be very choppy or a very slow day, guys. I would be surprised if I do end up taking a trade, personally speaking. Just because, again, I just don't want to deal with the choppiness that could really happen. Now, could we miss out on an absolute banger? Yeah, right. This thing could still, you know, can absolutely sell off. But I'm fine with missing out on trades, especially if, you know, it's a holiday week, right? Like, I have no issue at all with not trying to force something, right? But I know Kyle is definitely the one that's interested in this, Kyle. So they actually have a question, bro, in terms of your take profit. Where's your take profit going to be at for that?
Okay. 1 second, guys. Let me pull up my chart.
Let's see. Yes, sir. Let's do it. I'll bring the mac and cheese. Oh, yeah. Nikayla, listen. I don't mind you bringing the baked mac and cheese. In fact, I appreciate you. But I'm very picky. I'm gonna be like, it gotta be extremely baked and extremely cheesy. I'm just saying, right? Like, you're stepping up for a tough task because I'm a critic, right? I love my food, you know. So just be aware of that, right? Just putting that out there. Let's see. I'm just wondering what kind of influence you got to be around to be trading around 15 years. That's a great question, by the way, crowd. That's another great question that I want you to answer, bro. They said, because you actually went through this, right? Like, I met Kyle, guys, you know, when he was 15 years old, right? Which is absolutely crazy. By 16, 17, the man's already a six-figure earner, right? Which is kind of even more crazy, more impressive, right? But, yeah, the question is, like, what kind of influence were you around, all right? Like, how did you end up following the people that you were following, bro, that caused you to even get into this scene at 15 years old, right? Because that's impressive, bro.
Okay. You know, to be honest, guys, I would say like I was watching a lot of podcasts, a lot of YouTube videos, like a lot of the stuff that, you know, is like very beneficial to self-growth. Like I learned that very, very early. Like to be honest, you know, I was in high school watching podcasts, watching Amazon FBA videos, Amazon drop shipping, like just trying to figure out how to make money online. Like, you know, drop a 2 in the chat if you've ever looked up on you know, Google or YouTube how to make money online, right? You know, that's probably how like you started this, to be honest.
Facts.
And you know, I was somebody that was always obsessive, right? You know, Alex Morton, one of my mentors, always said, "Be obsessive over what you want." And you know, what did I do? I had to develop my mind. You know, great minds aren't, you know, they don't come straight from the womb, right? You know, you gotta also develop it. You've also got to water it. You've also got to grow yourself. So, you know, to be honest, I was growing myself all throughout high school. Like I was reading books. I was getting myself plugged into the audios, to the books, to the podcasts. You know, the thing is, a lot of these podcasts you guys see, like Full Send podcast, for example. A lot of people are seeing that now, like thinking it's blown up and stuff. Like, you know, shout out to Full Send podcast for sure. We'll definitely be on there real soon. But, you know, it's crazy. I've been watching those type of stuff since middle school, really, because I didn't really have not much to do, but just play video games. But instead of playing video games, I decided to use that time to really just grow myself, to really just study, to really learn how to actually make money instead of using my time to not even make money and just play games. So, that was my mentality behind it. So, I want you guys to get in the habit of growing every day, even though like you guys are trading with us, you guys are, on here having a vibe, catching some pips, catching some bags. I mean, when it really comes down to it, you have to ask yourself, what are you guys doing outside of these sessions, right? Because a lot of you guys hop on these sessions, you guys kill it, you guys are doing good, you guys are growing, for real, for real. A lot of you guys are winning on your accounts. A lot of you guys are doing good. Now, if you guys are seeing that maybe there's something that you're missing, right? It's all within you, right? Like, what books have you not read? Like, what audios have you not read? Like, when's the last time have you even opened up a book or an audio, right? A lot of people, this is just small little errors in judgment that repetitively lead to big disaster, right? All it takes is small little errors in judgment every day, repeated, and that could lead to big good things or bad things. So that's how I think of it, guys. Like it wasn't necessarily the environment, because like I don't live in a crazy environment. I live in Florida, y'all. Like I feel like you create the environment. You guys all have your own little space. You guys have your own little area that you guys trade in, sleep in, or just do whatever you guys have to do. Now create that environment to be an environment for success. Get a calendar, get a journal, get a notebook. Like, these are all things that a lot of you guys need to do, instead of just looking at your MT4 on your phone and just staring at it, hoping you can just press some buttons and you're good, when you don't have all the other necessary things to make this thing a professional career.
You know what's crazy though, what you said though, bro, that just stood out. You said you weren't a product of your environment, you created your own environment. That's absolutely fire. I think that might have, you didn't say it like word for word like that, but that's pretty much what your whole point was. And that's so fire,
Literally,
right? Like, that is next level, family, right? Like, again, we can all be products of our environment, or we can make our environment the product of us, all right? And that's exactly what he did, which, again, at 15 years old, family, what were you guys doing at 15 years old? All right, what were you guys doing at 15? Like, really think about that. I can't even remember what I think I was playing PS2 or something like that, right? Because 15 years old, that was, again, now, I mean, I'm 30 years old now, right? So that was 15 years ago for me, right? So I was definitely not thinking about no entrepreneurship stuff, right? I wasn't focused on personal growth, personal development. I wasn't focused on anything like that. Now, to be fully transparent, though, we also didn't have access to technology like we have today, right? Like, back then, we didn't have access to none of that. The only way that we could really learn was mainly through like books and through personal experience. Now, I'm making myself sound way older, but I mean, that's just a reality, right? Technology has completely changed from when I was 15 years old, right? 15 years ago, all right? But you best believe I definitely wasn't focused on anything like that, right? So, big shout out to you, bro. I always love to just give you your flowers, and I've always said this since day one. Your age is definitely going to be the biggest influence that you have, because there's a community of younger people that are still not even interested in stuff like this, right? That don't even know anything about entrepreneurship, that don't even have a care in the world to get into trading or investing or things like that, right? So the fact that you were able to go ahead and do that, and not just do it, but excel in it at the way that you've done it, it's amazing to see, bro. It really is amazing to see, for sure.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, bro. I mean, I'll tell this to a lot of people. I feel like, at the end of the day, it all comes down to like your desire to really want something, right? When the desire to change outwill, what is it? It's like when the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change, that's when you will really change, right? So, that's really like my motto. Like, once you hit that pain point that you're like, yo, enough is enough. It don't matter how old you are, it don't matter where you're at in life, you're like, yo, it's time to level up. And once I reach that point in my life where I'm like, yo, it's time to level up, I really locked in on this, right? I don't know why. My bad. I don't know why I was like Forex at first. But at the end of the day, guys, um, you know, we're all here for a reason. So, I want you guys to take that with a grain of salt. If I could do it, if Abel could do it, if millions of other people could do it, then don't stop until you can do it.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Yo, this might be getting a little bit more. I don't know. You might be upset at me for me saying this, Kyle, but I'm gonna say it anyways, right? Because it's out of love. But the craziest thing is, guys, right? Again, at 15 years old, you technically can't even open a broker account. All right, technically you're not even allowed to. So this man
Yeah,
this man had to navigate through certain things, guys, and even use his parents' information to even open up a broker account. Right. So again, there's no excuses, right? Like, how bad do you really want something, right? Like, how bad do you guys truly want to, make this thing work? Because again, at 15, there's a numerous amount of excuses as to why you couldn't do something. But even the fact that he couldn't even open a broker account didn't stop him. He just went and just opened it up with his parents' account, his parents' name, right? So it's just stuff like that that just inspires me and motivates me to just continue doing this, because you never know, right? It could be the next Kyle Persad in the chat right now, right? Somebody that's 15, 16 years old listening to us right now, seeing if this is
facts.
something that they could do, right? Well, I mean, we got a live example right now with us today, right? So it's just amazing, bro. But another thing that I gotta say as well that I just realized that you said that you're from Florida, which is nothing crazy. That's cap, bro. Florida is probably the craziest state in the entire world, right? Like, that place is nuts. Like, you gotta be brave to live in Florida, right? There's two places that are crazy, right? The Florida and the Bronx. The entire state of Florida is nuts, and then just the Bronx itself in New York is nuts, right? So I just had to throw that out there because I know I wasn't the only one that heard that capness that you said. 'Cause it's definitely nuts over there.
That's crazy. That's no, you're right. You're right. I forgot about the Florida man stories, man.
Yeah, that's a fact, right? But somebody did mention, bro. They want to get your opinion on AU. Have you looked at AU lately or not?
Um, Let me go ahead and let me make sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. I didn't even see that. But I'll go. Oh, I don't know why I'm looking at AU on crypto. That was weird. So here we go. Um, what's crazy is like I kind of see. Hold on. Yeah, I'm overall looking at the same thing at on AU that I am for EU, right? Let me mark this. These are just two regions that I feel are important. This 4 hour will definitely have to prove itself. So, again, it just looks very, very similar to EU. At the end of the day, it's kind of like gave us that little bit of the sell off, and then now we're in retracement. So, I still am looking to see this imbalance get filled lower, right? This right here, this imbalance, this is something that I'm targeting. So, we are looking for a potential lower high in this region. Whether it can show itself today, is what I would prefer, is because that would definitely coincide with my EU for it to drop off of this. But, if it doesn't, then, we can play something a little higher. And that would definitely be valid as well. But we're pretty much in the same structural range as EU in that lower high structure. So, let's see if we can get it today, or, let's see if we can get it, tomorrow. Who knows, right? Or even for FOMC meeting minutes. But, we're just patiently waiting on this. But yeah, EU, AU, GU, they're all gonna pretty much look about the same. What's crazy, guys, is like this happened so fast. Like, I wasn't even able to call it out to you guys. Wasn't even expecting this to even happen like that. I really just had this level marked up, and I was like putting an alert off of it, and the alert ran off while Abel was talking, and I just executed it, and I was gonna mention it to you guys, but then it just snapped back down. So to be honest, guys, take this analysis as you wish, but I'm in this as well. It's kind of crazy, two trades in one day, something that I don't really like to do. I like to maximum 2 trades. So this is probably me being done for the day at this point. I'm just gonna go break even because I don't even want it to come back up to this wick. So take that as you wish. I think that there's probably some people that took that as well. Like for sure, I know probably Jude is in that. I know for sure there's a couple people that are in this USD CAD. I know I'm not the only one that saw this sell. The reason why I'm taking this sell, it's kind of like a preemptive entry because I don't want to miss a swing. But let's see if it even plays out, right? I'm in EU sells too, so this is kind of like a hedge, right? We're gonna win on one position today, so and sometimes even both. So that's why I always say use half risk. So
Now,
to be honest,
that's a question I got for you too, bro. Not to cut you off, but I wanted to ask you, what is your thought process with selling USD CAD and selling Euro USD?
So my thought process is, I always have the thing is, no matter what trades you guys are taking, right? This is something that I learned, right? Trading doesn't involve thinking, right? If you are thinking, then that is a trading error, right? And when I heard that, I was like, man, am I thinking or should I just execute whenever I see my plan, right? So to be honest, one thing a part of my plan is, play every candle that meets your requirements. So like if there's a candle that meets my requirements, even though I'm in an EU sell or in a USD CAD sell, or even though I'm in a EU sell and I like USD CAD to sell, right? This is something that I've learned. Right? Don't marry one bias, right? Because it's crazy because like one time, I will forever learn from this day. I was in USD CAD buys and EU sells, so I was basically doing I was basically doing like the right thing to do, what technically everybody would say. But the thing is, in order for my bias to play out, the dollar would have had to go up that day. So USD CAD would have went up and EU would have sold. I would have been in big profit for the day. But what I want you guys to realize is that I was betting on one singular direction. That means if that direction didn't go my way, then I would have lost 1%, both half risk trades. Now, again, so like let's say I take, 2 half risk trades equals 1%, and I'm going for bullish DXY, and it doesn't play out, and then I hit the loss of 1%, right? Just an example. Now let's say I do 0.5%, and this is something that you don't do every day, guys. Like, don't wake up every day like trying to split risk and play buys and sells and hope for the best. This is something that you do when the market is in like an uncertainty period, when you're intraday trading. This is not for like, everyday type stuff. This is when you're in an area of the market where you said, yo, it could sell off of here and it could also buy off of here. And especially with the holiday ranges right now, right? You don't even want to be entering with the idea of holding for weeks or months, right? Because December is coming up. You want to take your profits. You want to catch that bag. So, at this point, let's say you were to take 0.5% betting on bullish DXY, and that's a 1 to 5, 1 to 3 risk to reward. I'm going for a 1 to 5, so I'll say 1 to 5. And let's say you take 1.5 on a bearish DXY, and it's 1 to 5. Basically, that comes out to about like a 1 to 2.5. 1 to 2.5 after you take profit, because again, you are taking this trade with a half risk. So even though it's a 1 to 5, technically it's a 1 to 2.5 because it's a half risk. So, to be honest, let's see what happens, right? Like, let's say, the sells take over, or let's say the DXY, the bulls take over. That means EU sells would take over, and these USD CAD sells would probably get taken out. And to be honest, what's crazy is I'm not even gonna take a loss on this USD CAD. I'm gonna go break even. So losing is not even an option for me at this point on USD CAD. And the reason why I play every candle that meets your requirements, which was rule number 1, is because you can get in scenarios like this where you play those candles, and once it goes into profit, have the discipline to move your stop loss and profit, and don't marry that trade. Just let the market run and see what direction it chooses. So, again, let's say we do get that bullish DXY, my USD CAD will just be hit at even, and my EU sales will just take over and profit. Now, let's say on the odd scenario, because the market likes to do odd stuff. The market likes to do random stuff, right? The market does random stuff. So let's say on the weirdest scenario, we just get another bearish DXY today. Guess what? My EU sell might get stopped out at that 0.5%, but I have this hedge, which is the USD CAD, that'll still give me 2.5%. So in every scenario here, if you think about it, the worst scenario is that I'm losing 0.5%. But the best scenario is that I'm making 2.5%. Right? So that's kind of like my thing about it. That's kind of like my because I'm already break even on the UCAD. So that's kind of my plan behind it, to monitor it and go break even, because that candle met my requirements, right? It was a daily engulfing. I like this right here. The fact that we were retesting this, it does have the possibility to go up higher before we drop lower. But, me, I don't know why, I always have this habit of at least taking a half risk or a quarter risk to at least play the candle, right? Because there's been so many times I've been so picky about candles that like I miss out on amazing opportunities. So I'm not picky at all. Like I'm gonna play every candle that meets my requirements. And remember, I always teach you guys to hedge if possible. So hedging against your trades is something that's important too, because you don't want to bet on one direction. Again, if you bet on one direction and you marry that one singular bias, right, at the end of the day, if you follow your risk management, you're going to be okay, right? It's not like, okay, you bet on one bias and, you take 2 positions and you're risk managed, you're only going to lose 1%, right? At the end of the day, you are going to be in good standing on your account anyway if you lose 1%. But it's really for the psychology, right? That psychology is really important, coming off of 2 losses, right? Or even coming off of a scenario where you bet one side of the market for 2 trades, and basically meaning that you bought UCAD and you sold your USD. So you were literally praying for bullish dollar, and then dollar came out bearish. You had 2 trades for bullish dollar. That kind of actually sways the psychology a lot more than it even sways your account, right? Even though you might have taken like 2 or 3 losses and it only equated to like 1%, right? Those 2 to 3 losses are like ingrained in the psychology, and like it low key affects your next couple of trades. So that's why you got to be mindful of that. And that's why I always hedge, right? I don't like to marry one bias. I don't like to go with the specifics, right? If something meets my requirements, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna follow my plan. And again, at the end of the day, this USD CAD could just drop, or it could snap back up and hit my break even. But again, I'm just kind of break even at this point. But that's kind of something that I see that could play out. Again, this daily candle could literally just close where it's at, and we could get no sellout today. But you guys peeped how yesterday we closed as a bearish engulfing. This is something that I was kind of scared of, right? See, the thing is, I was expecting USD CAD to initially come up to here, but after seeing this daily bearish engulfing reacting off of this, I feel like we might actually get something today, right? And to be honest, the EU sells are looking a little less confident by the minute, right? The thing is, we do not yet know for sure because it's not even 9:30 yet. So I'm not even looking to close anything. I'm not even looking to like do anything with any of my positions. I'm just looking to hold my positions and just let them rock, right? I do want to see if we can get a new high for the day on the DXY, but if we don't, then that's okay. That's fine. Right? We might get stopped out of one position, but the other position is going to run us 3%. And I can hold that position, right? That position that I have, I can hold it. And then I can simply farm new positions until we accumulate. Then I can close out, look for new positions, etc. But that's why I kind of did that. If that makes sense. I was a long rant, but like I don't know if it makes sense, but it kind of makes sense to me that like I like to hedge the market if possible.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean that's pretty dope though. That concept for sure. All right. But the biggest thing is just playing what you know works, right? And those patterns that you look for, they work for you, right? And that's the biggest thing about it, right? If it works for you, then play it no matter what. And at the end of the day, just deal with the outcome, deal with the consequences, right? You're either gonna win or you're gonna lose. That's literally it, right? Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else we got here in the chat. Who's playing the music? It's a vibe. That's my playlist. Let's see. Do you trust guts before pulling a trade based off your experience? All right, that's a good question, Eric. Right now, how do you play? And I'll give an answer too, Kyle. But how do you trust your gut more than anything? Is that how you play that? Is that more of a gut feeling because you've seen it play out so often? Like, what is it? How do you account a gut feeling into your decision making for the markets?
So it's crazy. It's not really like a gut feeling. It's really more like more so like there's certain things that I look for, right? And these are, and I can go over this on the stream. It'll definitely be a little bit more of an in-depth, breakdown. But there are certain specific things that I look for, and for you guys that trade as well, all of you guys should have certain specific things that you look for in your trading, whether that be for exits, whether that be for entries. There should be certain specific things. And, at the end of the day, it's different for everybody. Now, for me, I'll show you guys a lot of certain specific things that I look for. I look for things like, supply and demand, right? And how you guys look for things that you guys, how you guys identify things that you guys are looking for. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I have a supply zone, demand zone. I have a lot of just different zones that I like to utilize. It's right here. But like, I have a lot of different candlestick zones that I like to utilize. And, these are specific things that after time and effort of back testing, after not even just back testing, right? After, a year, 2 years, like after just time and time and time and time and time of trading and trading these patterns, entering off of these patterns, maybe getting stopped out off of some of these patterns, maybe taking profit off of some of these patterns, right? Like at the end of the day, I identified which patterns that I am truly, truly looking at, right? There are some patterns that I look at and say, yo, that trade's gonna get stopped out after this plays out. There are some patterns that I'm like, yo, once I see this pattern, I know that is going to hit my take profit, right? After a while of journaling, right? I always tell all of you guys, and I even put this like in my a lot of my webinars, right? After 2 months, even just 1 to 2 months of journaling, watch your trading level up crazy. And I'm talking about 1 to 2 months, talking about every single day for those 2 months, every single day for those 1 month that you trading, that you're journaling everything. So, after at least 1 to 2 months of journaling, you'll realize which trades you're really winning on over and over again. You're going to realize which trades you're losing on. And then that's where you start refining and you start looking at it like, man, these are the trades I need to pay attention more to. And this is what I need to pay attention less to. And I realized I need to pay attention more to these supply and demand zones, these major zones. Right? I need to pay attention more to these higher time frame zones. And especially seeing these type of candlesticks on a higher time frame, those make me even more confident. So, these are just specific supply and demand zones that I look for. Some people look for different things, right? A lot of you guys trade the supply and demand, the institutional way of trading, similar to me. But there's a lot of other patterns out there that people look for, even on lower time frames and stuff like that. So identify what your winning trade looks like to you. Right? I know all of you guys have had a winning trade before. Right? If you've never had a winning trade before, you've probably never been on this session before. It's probably your first time. But everybody's had a winning trade before. Ask yourself, what does that winning trade look like? If you don't know what it looks like, get a picture. Like, find some of your previous trade setups, take a picture of it, print it out, save it, journal it, do whatever you got to do to make yourself engrave in your memory what a perfect trade looks like so you can replicate that, right? So you can look for those certain things, right? And yeah, those are just certain things that I look for. After time and time and time of back testing and, a month or so of journaling and, realizing what helps you win, then that's when you guys can refine and say, this is what I'm looking at and hone in on certain things. I'm just showing you guys what I look at. I look at the supply and demand. Just because I look at supply and demand doesn't mean you guys have to, right? You guys could continue with whatever strategy you guys are looking at, right? I'm giving you guys major sauce. I'm actually going to get out of here. But, I gave you guys like some of my supply and demand zones. I will start to do a more in-depth training on this, but at the end of the day, everybody has their specific strategy. Again, after time and time of back testing, studying, and forward testing, and actually trading in the markets, I started to see that supply and demand was something that was playing out for me. And I do have a couple extra confirmations on top of that, but that's just one of the main ones for sure. That whenever I see that in the market, I'm not hesitating. I'm in and I'm trading my plan and I'm accepting the risk. I'm not hesitating.
Yeah, I mean, that was a dope answer for sure. I mean, just to give my perspective on that gut feeling question, I think in the beginning stages of the journey, it's hard to trust your gut because your gut, at the end of the day, that feeling is an emotion, right? And that emotion can cause you to look at things that are really not even there, right? And especially as you're starting your journey, you start to find out support and resistance, supply and demand, all these trend lines. You start to look for different techniques to enter the market, and then you start to notice things that are not even there, right? And you're like, oh man, my gut feeling is telling me this. So you gotta be careful going with your gut feeling, right? Because again, at the end of the day, that's still technically an emotion that overcomes your body, and any of these emotions are
That's true.
very hard to become profitable while utilizing. All right. So, but the biggest difference too, as well, I wouldn't call it a gut feeling, but as you gain more experience, you're gonna just know what to look for. All right. It's not necessarily a gut feeling, but it's more so just your confirmations that you had for your rules, for your setup, for what you're looking for. Right. So, the reason why, even like right now, there's a lot of confliction, at least for me, in terms of certain setups, certain opportunities, because my gut feeling is telling me that the market could do one thing, but from a technical or more logical perspective, it's saying like, nah, don't even do that, right? It could do this, right? So yeah, it's a tough one though, right? Because again, as you do get better, as you gain experience, I don't think it's gut feeling, but it's more so just that experience that tells you, like, yo, this setup looks really, really good. All right, but just keep in mind, that gut feeling is still an emotion. We need to be able to control and manage all of our emotions no matter what. But let's see. I see you guys talking about GJ. All right, let's see what's your thoughts on GJ in the sell. You're able to check out trade GJ sent in the. Let's see what we got here. All right, so we got my guy Eric dropping a few different setups here. All right, we got GJ ended up taking those GJ sells. We saw a nice reaction on the lower time frame, nice shift. Let's see how it plays out. It's a swing play, looking for a long-term hold to 163. All right, so this is the setup right here. It doesn't look bad. I was originally looking at this area right here, because there is a chance for this market to, pull back down off of these levels, right? It is very possible for the market to definitely go ahead and react lower. But, right, there is a but to that, right? But there's also, and again, this is where it comes back to what I think can happen and what possibly will happen, right? I'm still expecting this thing to go bullish, right? Like, I would love for this market to end up continuing to fly, right? And that's just more so just putting my fundamental analysis, my sentiment, and trying to correlate it with the technicals, right? Because, yeah, there is a good chance for this thing to drop, right? And I mean, it is. But I personally wouldn't be looking for the drop per se. That's at least me, right? I mean, again, that's not saying it's not. But what I'm more so focused on is more the opportunity to look for the next buy setup. All right, and I would be more so comfortable to look for the buy from up there. So if you are going to be selling it, just keep in mind, right? Down here at this level, this 167 is where I'm really going to be interested to see if we can find some support or some demand, that could send us right back on up to the upside, right? Because I am bullish. And the reason why I personally just am not looking for the sell is because we've been having a lot of bullish momentum, right? Creating these higher highs and these higher lows. So the market can realistically, still go ahead and continue going higher, right? But yeah, to answer your question, is it possible? Yeah, of course. The market going to do what it wants to do at the end of the day, but I'm more so focused on the buy setup, right? That's what I would be more so leaning towards to see if, the market can give us that type of opportunity, right? So that's just my general opinion. Again, that sell could still play out, because if I want to buy it from down here, that's a good 150 pips away. My focus is just not on the sell per se. All right, I hope that made some sense, right? Because that's pretty much where I would be at for sure, right? Let's see what else you got here. You also sent this AU. The AU is similar to what I was looking for AU as well. I wanted to see price actually make its way up there, right? Let's see if I have. Yeah, so I do still got the markup as well, right? So I was interested in seeing how AU plays off right now. I want to see the market for AU, at least for AU. I want to see it come up and at least grab all this liquidity that's built up here. I think we have a ton of liquidity right above this high right here, that's just resting above here. So yeah, I do want to see the market, guys, eventually go up to that level, target up to there, and then go ahead and give us that, that move lower. But again, who knows if the market is going to go up there, right? That's definitely still a little bit more ways to go. But if it does go up there, then yeah, I think it's a very good opportunity for us to go ahead and look for some shorts, right? So around that, above that 0.67, I'll start looking for some shorting opportunities for sure. All right, but let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Funny how many successful traders talk about backtested journal and risk management. As simple as it sounds, many new and us don't find need for them. That happens all the time, right? Like, absolutely. Like, again, and this is the thing that I realized, right? The people that are right now, whether they're new or not, they're not going to do what you tell them to do, right? Like right now, I could tell you guys to use a trading journal, right? I could tell you guys to follow proper risk, right? But if I'm not actively doing it myself, more times than not, you guys are not going to do it neither, all right? Now, obviously, it shouldn't be up to me, right? I shouldn't have to be doing things in real time for you guys to do it. Your discipline should just kick in. But that's the reality, right? That's also why, I've actually, the past 2 weeks, I've showed you guys how to actually use a trading journal, right? How at least I ended up using it and how I will use it continue going forward, right? But it just comes down to that discipline, right? How disciplined are you, right? If you know that it's imperative for you to use a trading journal, right? If you know that it's imperative for you to have discipline, the proper risk management, right? To have patience, right? then you have to start actually taking it seriously. The reality is most people just don't. You know, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. All right, but let's see what else we got here. Let's see. I love Prophet. I do appreciate y'all as well. You know, every single one of y'all. Shout out to y'all for tuning in today. Let's see. Thoughts on US 30, SPS, and NAS. Looking like we could be distributing. Let me know what you think. What's going on to that boy, De Niro Dom? Good to see you in the chat, my brother. Right. So I think we are at interesting levels for a lot of these indices. Right now, I was looking for a short yesterday, which didn't end up showing itself. And I do think we are actually getting into a point where we could start to see, you know, that happen, right? You know, we did end up seeing a nice little spike above this level right here, right? This little pause in the market. And we are seeing a nice little reaction. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I really would not be surprised if we do actually see this thing continue to go lower. You know, we do got 1 minute, though, before New York Stock Exchange open, right? So we're going to see how the market really reacts. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it go lower. Now, again, I'm not in no trade, right? So if this thing just magically pops up, I really don't care. But that's what I'm leaning towards, right? I wanted to see how we actually reacted up into this level to then see if we can see some selling pressure come in, right? And as of right now, we spiked up into that range above that high, right? Above this high right here. And we did see a very interesting level, right? But now let's see if it's actually going to hold itself, right? So we do got less than 10 seconds. Let's see how the market opens up here, guys, and see how these indices end up playing off. All right, let's see what happens here. Let's see. All right, let's see what else we got here in the chat as well. What's going on, Eric? Shout out to you for tuning in. I appreciate you. All right, family, go ahead and smash the like button, by the way, family, right? We got 100 plus people on, only 30 likes. Definitely go ahead and smash the like button if you guys are getting some type of value. All right, go ahead and smash the like button for us. It definitely helps us out tremendously as well. All right, so if you guys want to show us love for showing you guys love, just smash the like button. All right, that's all we ask of you guys. You know, and we will continue doing what we do. All right, we'll continue to come on here providing you all with massive value, as much value as possible. You know, just helping you guys get that much closer to, you know, profitability. All right, that's the biggest key here. So definitely go ahead and smash that like button. Appreciate y'all. All right, appreciate all you guys that do it as well. All right, so for the most part, we're really not seeing nothing too crazy just yet, guys. But again, I do think we're going to end up rolling over, right? I'm a big fan of seeing, you know, selling pressure come in for these indices, right? I would love to see it. So again, I'm not in no trades. I'm personally not taking no trades today. Not on no Thanksgiving Eve, I'm not. But that's what I would be looking for, right? I would look to see if there is a chance for us to go ahead and start to roll over to the downside. All right, let's see how everything else is playing off of Stock Exchange Open. Nothing crazy. This is actually a setup, guys, that I'm actually kind of upset at. This gold played out literally perfect, right? You know, this is something that I talked to you guys about last night on my Asian stream. You know, I told you guys that I wanted to see gold come up into the 1745 level, right? And look at how perfect this was, right? It literally entered into the actual kill zone right at London session. And then this thing ended up dropping very, very nicely, right? Absolutely nicely. So I'm definitely a little upset that I didn't take this trade. But, you know, it is what it is, right? It's a light week anyways. But, yeah, you know, that's actually, that was a very interesting play there. All right, very interesting play. All right, so let's see what else we got here, right? Let's see. Also, dollar expecting more weakness, which should make the Japanese yen gain strength. The Japanese yen did gain a lot of strength, guys, over the past hour. Right, actually, we've been seeing the Japanese yen gaining some strength over the past few hours, right? Now, seeing USD/JPY, guys, already starting to drop the way that is dropping, right? But seeing GJ not even moving just yet. Is there a delay? All right, can we say that there's a possible delay, right, in one of these pairs? Right, because right now the yen is gaining strength, right? Or technically the dollar is just losing strength, right? But traditionally, you'll see the yen gaining strength off of dollar weakness. We haven't really seen that just yet show itself, guys, in pound yen, right? So there is a little delay here, or a little bit of a lag across these yen pairs. I'm actually interested to see what the other ones are doing, right? How's AUD/JPY? So that one really is not moving neither. So I think it's just USD/JPY that's doing most of the movement. I mean, CAD yen is dropping as well. I don't know, right? We could see that little sell-off for GJ for those of you guys that were interested in All right, let's go back to this NZD. Can you check NAS? Yeah, for sure. So again, I'm looking for shorts here, right? If I'm looking at NAS, I'll be looking to short it. I'll be looking for opportunities to go ahead and go short here on NAS, right? Let's see. Dixie review. So dollar index is very interesting, guys, right? Where we're actually at right now. I think, right, we actually just ended up breaking this previous days low. I think at this point, there's a good chance, guys, that we end up just coming back down into this demand zone down here for the dollar itself, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we do just continue bearish, throughout the rest of this week, all right? I mean, there's only a few days left, right? But I wouldn't be surprised of it, all right? I wouldn't be surprised if we do just continue bearish now throughout the rest of the week, all right? So I'm expecting, this thing just possibly continue to sell off for sure. All right, so that's what I'll be looking for, guys, for the dollar. Just continue to see, some selling pressure going into the end of this week. So what would that do, right? That means euro could possibly gain strength. The pound could possibly gain strength. I mean, the pound is already gaining strength. USD CAD could drop. I mean, if you guys took that trade with Kyle, if you guys were able to get in it, I mean, this thing is absolutely doing its thing. I'm not sure if you guys were able to get in because it was a little late when he called it, but this thing is absolutely doing its thing. We can continue to see that happen. USD/JPY, guys, we can also continue to see USD/JPY drop. And if we see USD/JPY, guys, break below this 140.6 level, right, I think a nice retest of that level, guys, can definitely give us a nice opportunity to continue to sell this thing lower. All right, so there's a few different things that I'll be looking here, right, especially off of dollar weakness. I think that we could see a lot of good movements for sure. All right, so that's just my opinion on that. Let's see. I entered shorts on GJ. Nice. Let's go. I caught the buy up on gold. Pew pew. Nice. I mean, that gold play was interesting too. How we swipe these lows right here. Right. This is the most interesting thing about this whole gold situation. Right. Is the reaction after we ended up swiping these lows. All right. Once we ended up grabbing all this sell side liquidity, we ended up seeing a very strong reaction from there. All right. A very strong reaction. This could lead to, again, higher pricing here on gold. All right, we could see this thing, guys, absolutely continue to go ahead and go to the upside now. All right, in fact, I think there's a much higher probability that we see gold possibly go ahead and run all this buy side liquidity that we have up here. All right, so if you are looking for an opportunity on gold, maybe back down near these lows, right? If we can see price get back down in this range, then I think that will be either pretty good or, I mean, this little short-term setup that we're looking at here, this is a 2-minute time frame, by the way. If we see the market run this low right here, right, break this short-term sell side liquidity that's probably being built up, and then we rebound on that, right, we come back above it, then I would take it. I would be comfortable taking an entry on that rebound, right, on that closure back above. But I want to see the swipe of liquidity first. I want to see liquidity get ran and then go ahead and rebound off of the liquidity, find demand, and then go ahead and get involved, right? So that's a potential play. Now, I'm not going to take it because, again, my rules, I already told myself that I'm not taking no trades today, so I'm going to be disciplined. But it is a very interesting opportunity, guys, that you guys can keep your eyes on. All right, let's see. With home sales news, do you think XAUUSD will drop? Where is my news? Let me go bring up investing.com again. I really don't think home sales is truly going to affect gold as much as you may think, right? But let's see what we got here. So we do got home sales in about 20 minutes, right? So again, I don't see this really having too much of effect on the markets overall, right? Could there be a jump in volatility? I mean, it's always very possible, right? But I don't think it's going to have as much of an effect in the markets because that's not really a data release that's a catalytic event right now, right? There's certain events, guys, certain data releases that are definitely going to be the ones that can influence the markets a lot. For right now, I don't think home sales is one of those, right? I would definitely consider things like CPI, right? PPI, right? Things like GDP, the interest rate decision, right? Things like those are definitely the more, I don't want to say more important news releases, but those are the ones, guys, that are, again, are traders are eyeing, right? We're watching, we're paying attention to, right? Where home sales, I don't see it influencing too much at all.
Yeah, I got a question. I don't know if you see it on yours. I don't know why it's not on investing.com, but on Forex Factory there's a red folder, Flash Services PMI in 5 minutes. It's called Flash Services PMI.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah, we got. I see it now. Manufacturing PMI, services PMI. So PMI data is definitely is another one, guys. That's definitely very important, right? Because what PMI data does, right? PMI stands for the Purchasing Manager Index, right? So it pretty much tells us what these big time corporations are doing, right? Are they actually increasing, their spending for goods and services, right? Or do they have to start to slow down? So a good way to really realize or read PMI data, anything above the 50, right? If it comes out 50 or higher, that typically means that the manufacturing industry is expanding, it's growing, right? Or anything below 50 is typically looked at as contracting, right? So it's either going to be for the manufacturing industry or the service industries, right? Which again is coming out in 5 minutes. Now, again, it could have an effect in the markets for sure because it's giving us an insight as to what these purchasing managers are actually doing, right? Are they still actively spending, which will cause expansion, or are they starting to slow down, which is obviously going to cause those industries to potentially contract overall? So yeah, that's pretty much what PMI information is, what the data stands for, and I think it definitely is could have an influence for sure in the markets as well. All right, but let's see what we got here. Let's see. What's your thoughts on the numbers of unemployment claims that came out and how it will approach the markets? I mean, I'm not surprised by this unemployment claims, right? This pretty much is telling us that there's more people, that are filing for unemployment for the first time. Just like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I'm expecting this number to continue. All right, I'm expecting this number to continue to go higher and higher and higher, right? Just because we're seeing, guys, massive layoffs occurring across the board, right? So we're going to see this initial jobless claims continues to increase week by week, which is going to lead to the unemployment rate to finally start to go higher, okay? Which is pretty much what the Fed low-key has wanted, right? The Fed has been relying on our strong job market, right? Which is why they're saying that we're still not in a recession. But they're also in need of the labor market to slow down, right? Because you can't stop inflation. It's very hard to slow down inflation, guys, with a very strong jobs market, especially here in the U.S. because we are very consumer dominant, right? We spend like there's no tomorrow over here in America, right? Like it just happens, right? People get money and they're gonna spend it until they're broke, right? So it's very hard to get inflation under control when we still have a very strong jobs market, right? Because the whole point of them raising rates is to try to kill the demand for a lot of goods and services so that inflation can come back down to earth. Right, so that's going to be interesting, right? But again, I do think an unemployment rate is going to start to go higher. Initial jobless claims every single week, I believe we're going to start to see this thing continue to go higher. And this is stuff that I've been telling you guys for the past 6 months, right? Like I told you guys about this stuff that was going to happen. That's happening now, right? These massive layoffs that we're seeing. I told you guys to expect this stuff to happen 6 months ago, right? And it's literally playing out exactly how we expected it because of, there's cycles, right? There's cycles that these markets overall go through, right? So, but yeah, that's just my thoughts on it for sure. But other than that, though, guys, right? I don't really have too much else. It's either you're in, just from Kyle's perspective, either this EU sell, which is looking like it's starting to make some moves again, or you could be in this UCAD sell, which he called out for much higher. But besides that, I don't really got nothing else that I'm gonna be personally looking for, right? How about you, Kai? How you feeling, bro? You got anything else you're gonna be looking for, or are you just gonna be monitoring those two and managing those two trades?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not in anything else. The EU sell is a little bit profit, so I am still in that, and I am still in UCAD. I'm actually kind of favoring the EU. I know I wasn't able to get you guys in UCAD, but it's looking like EU. We just needed to give it some time, and I feel like it will play out, and we'll come back, recap on it later, and I'll definitely update you guys on what to do with the trade.
Yeah, for sure. Right, so again, family, that's pretty much going to be it for today. It's definitely a much shorter session than normal, but again, there's really not much that we can do on Thanksgiving Eve, right? If we're being honest, like, there's not that many traders, professional traders, that are actively really trying to price trades, guys, like during Christmas Eve. I mean, think about if you were a billion-dollar trader, right? A hedge fund trader. You think that there's hedge fund traders trying to trade right now? Probably not, right? Hedge fund traders are doing what? They're taking vacation, right? They're going away. They're going to Monaco. They're going to Greece. They're going to, to the U.S., right? Or they're going to Qatar, right? They're going to Qatar to watch the World Cup, right? But hedge fund traders are really not trying to force trades during holiday weeks, right? So let's just really keep that in mind, guys, for sure, when you're trying to force a setup, during a week where, there's a major holiday, right? But besides that, we do appreciate you guys for tuning in with us this morning. I will not be back tomorrow because it is going to be Thanksgiving. So if anything, we will be back live for you guys on Sunday for our weekly overview. For anybody that is a part of the family, make sure to show up on Sunday. We'll all be back as a team, and we'll be able to go ahead and provide you guys with an insight going into this up and coming week. All right, but family, we do appreciate you guys. We love y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in with us this morning, and we'll talk to you guys all a little bit later. Let's get it, y'all. Have a great rest of your guys' day. Let's go.
Let's go.